Welcome to the world united. Welcome to the world united.
RENDY and Raviji, the founder of the Sync Flow, on his journey in seeking who is the I, what is my work, managing digital transformation projects, yoga, entrepreneurship, and a sense of knowing that there is much more to this chaotic world divided by our egos due to our lack of awareness, creating results that nobody wants. In his search, he found the natural order of all things, the truth that nature is not only external to us, human beings, but internal, part of the interconnected and interrelated flow of the connected universe. Sync Flow emerged from this journey. He is also a pioneer trainpreneur with Go Global Business School, recognized as the top 100 transformation leaders who have impacted the lives of people in Asia. Among his coaches is Mrs. Singapore Asia Pacific 2019. And the topic of presentation is the circle of being. You're most welcome to the platform here. And
Thank you, Jyoti. Thank you, Dr.
yes,
Yugandhar.
let's start with this.
Yes. Before we start, I will request everybody to do 1 minute of silence, to kind of get into the state. So yeah, just close your eyes.
Sure.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Namaste.
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 Most welcome.
Yeah. This is how the circle of being actually started. All the meetings that we do, we start with some period of silence in the beginning, just to get into now, at this state, and everybody kind of convene in this manner. And in a real setting, we will be sitting in a circle. That's why it's called circle of being, right? And then we have an empty chair. So just imagine that although we are virtual, but we are sitting around in a circle with an empty chair. And the empty chair actually symbolizes the people that are supporting us on our journey and the people who we support on our journey, right? When we do this work, we are not doing it for ourselves, but also for them. All right? Okay. So in this circle of being, we also do in a sequence of like check-ins to check ourselves in the attention and intention of what we're going to create. And then we will actually have a dialogue about the things that we hold dear and how we are connected and related, and what's the work that we want to do. And at the end of the sessions, we will do a checkout. It can be a different, or it can be a few different forms. It can be in a written form, or it can be a visualization of what you see, what you hear, what you experience during these sessions. Okay, so that's how the sessions are conducted, and it's actually very different from the meetings that we have in the world that we live in. And what we're trying to break off from the social norm. And this circle of being is something that kind of convene in such a way that we are supporting each other in all levels, all aspects of our lives, right? Physical, mental, spiritual, and monetary sense. How do we bring prosperity to others through this circle of being? Right? And it's a lifetime journey together. And in this circle of being, what we're trying to hold is different opinions of the people that comes together, right? And how do we kind of harmonize this energy field within this circle? And it's a setting where we talk about energy. How do we charge the container so that everybody is kind of energized? We don't do the work alone. What I experienced through my journey creating this circle of being is I realized that my spiritual growth and in all aspects of my life kind of speed up in the process. Because through this circle, you can identify your own blind spots, right? And get a sense of the collective, right? So you can see more, you can sense the whole, right? By looking at the parts. But the parts are not distorted parts, but genuine parts, right? When we bring the truth of our individuality, right? And remove all the baggages. And there's this thing that we kind of experience is how do we let go at this moment, to let go and receive at the same time. And what Singfo is trying to achieve is to help individuals to be in that state of now, right? To be able to kind of transcend that collectiveness, in that circle of being. Okay. Let me show you something, example. There are many circles on this sheet. A lot of times we only have a view of just parts of it, right? Each as an individual. So some of you might see 3, some of you might see, in this angle you have more, right? But on top here, there are 15 circles altogether, right? And because of these conflicting views, there's an analogy of, we talk about the elephant and people touching the different parts of the body and say that this is a trunk and this is a rope, but they do not see the elephant. Right? And even on the surface, you can see the 15 circles, but that's only on the surface. Right? We talk about the iceberg model. We can only see a small percentage of what's visible, but what's invisible are not mentioned, in our daily lives in society, because we kind of suppress ourselves to do that, because every time when we want to share something like this, society does not embrace that, right? And we can see actually there's a picture that's behind this paper, right? And this paper itself, the structure and the nature of it, right? We only see what's on the surface, but we don't see the structure, the nature of the structure. So what we're trying to uncover in the circle of being is to kind of understand the nature and structure of how do we think, how do we talk, right? How do we listen? How do we act, and how do we evolve together? It's actually very much as on the execution side, because it's not about just having a dialogue, but what can we co-create in the end by really putting ourselves into that space. And from there, we will actually organically grow this circle of being into a collective where we bring actually more people into this space to do the practice. Yeah. So what I'm actually calling out is to, let's not do it ourselves. Let's do it together. As in unity. Using this practice that have been introduced. The circle of being is actually started from the circle of 7, right? The 6 ladies that kind of give birth to it kind of supported this MIT professor, Otto Scharman, that created the Presidency Institute, right? That is actually doing a lot of good work to kind of bridge the gaps in society. We talked about self to self, self and others, and self and the ecology, right? So when we do this work, we are encompassing all these societal transformations that needs to happen and needs to start from a group that have a strong bond and bring in the right people organically to grow this movement. It's a global movement that is currently in the 10th year. Right? I'm actually on the journey on the 3rd year, and it's especially tough to be working in a space where the human dynamics is mental and physical centric, mainly in nature. Right? The emotional centric are kind of suppressed. But how can we have 3 aspects of it flourishing, right, in a circle like this, charging the container and expand beyond this 6% that kind of forms the core team, right? So thank you, everybody. Namaste.
That was wonderful again. Thank you so much, Rendy ji. Because yes, most of us are always, connected superficially, and that is all for need, based on the physical and superficial materialistic needs. Only if we could connect internally, then definitely this world is going to be a wonderful place to live in. And so we are again going to come back to the panel session, and then we'll have more questions from you and answers from you also. Be with us, right? Here for you, we also have another a certificate of appreciation. Again, the World United is presenting this proudly to Rendy Tanraviji for being an esteemed presenter in the 3rd edition of the World Parliament on Spirituality 2020 Asia. With a clap for him. Thank you so much. Thank you.
My heartfelt gratitude. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.